Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flex Appeal podcast. My name is Ryan. I am the lovely host of this podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see us. If you're watching it on Spotify, because that's a thing now, you can also see us. And this is the first episode, episode 1, season 1 of the Flex Appeal podcast. No more Christmas specials. We're going for it. And today, I'm joined by a very interesting and exciting individual called Ellie. You prefer to be called Ellie, not Elle?
Yeah, Ellie.
Ellie, fine. Yeah. Who is a women's health coach and a freelance social media manager. So I won't talk about you. You can talk about you. Tell me a little bit about yourself and tell them about yourself.
Perfect. So yeah, I'm Ellie. My main job is that I'm a freelance social media manager. And I work with all sorts of clients, but mainly in the fitness industry, personal trainers, gyms, Pilates studios, that sort of thing. But then I'm also growing my health coach business. I'm a qualified naturopathic women's health coach, and I help active females, amateur athletes, female athletes support themselves through nutrition, lifestyle, sleep, stress management, helping them support their hormones alongside their training.
How did you, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that maybe a lot of PTs don't touch on, is the actual health benefits of fitness.
Yeah.
There's a lot of aesthetic fitness in the world, but not a lot of actually let's look after yourself and let's balance your hormones and let's do this the right way. So, talking about that, how did you get here? What's your journey look like from baby Ellie to now?
Baby Ellie to now. Well, I won't bore you with the whole 25 years, but I grew up and I was very active. I definitely very sporty. Did all the different sports, netball,
polo.
Yeah, not growing up. So I was very horsey growing up, the only horsey person in my family. I went on holiday once. My parents put me on a pony and they probably regretted it for the rest of their lives. So I did a lot of show jumping, which a lot of kids get into. It's quite easy to get into. So I competed in show jumping all through sort of my early teens. And then I fell into polo cross.
Wow.
And then when I went to uni, got into polo and didn't really look back. And I spent about 5 years working in polo. So polo is obviously seasonal. So you work it's during the summer months. So in the UK, I'd work from March, September. And then I did 2 years where when it got to October, I would go off to New Zealand and do the polo season there.
Hard life.
Hard life, yeah. In the sun, riding ponies every day.
In Hobbitland.
It was incredible. And New Zealand, I'd live there if it was as close as, say, France or something. But it's, very far away.
Literally the other side of the world.
Yeah. But it was great. Yeah, taught me a lot. Loved being outside. And it was, what baby Ellie would have dreamt of doing. And then came home and just, horses are expensive. My family aren't horsey, so I don't have that, I don't have mum round the corner who can just look after a horse for me. So, just came home, got back into fitness, sort of found High Rocks as most people do and started very loosely training for a High Rocks. But I'd gotten quite unwell. So I went through quite a big sort of health, I was going to say scandal. It's not a health scandal. Quite a few health problems.
Yeah.
So I came back from New Zealand. I wasn't very well towards the back end of my travels there. After I left New Zealand, I went to Australia. And the idea was for me to travel up the East Coast, as most people do. But I just was so unwell. I just needed to come home and get it sorted. What had happened was in the past, when I was 23, when I was still working in polo, I got diagnosed with celiac disease completely out of the blue. And I don't know how much you know about celiac disease, but it's an autoimmune disease along the same lines as diabetes, Crohn's, etc., where my body sees gluten as like a foreign object and will attack my body. So that came out of the blue. I was having problems with my skin and sort of my energy. And I called the doctor just do a blood test. And he was like, you have celiac disease. And I was like, don't know what that is. I've just eaten a massive bowl of pasta.
What? Oh, God.
So that was a huge shock. And I just thought, okay, I'll just cut out gluten. It's as easy as that, which it's not. quite as easy as that. And what followed was just a whole host of problems. Really struggled with, I won't go into all the details, but serious digestive issues. I developed quite bad acne all over my face, which as an adult is very off-putting. You don't typically see that. And I just thought, I'll just ignore it. It's fine. I'll try and sort it. I still want to go to New Zealand. I had everything lined up. So off I went, not fully understanding it. And then, no surprise, almost a year later when I came home, I was in quite a bad state.
Yeah.
Went and saw multiple doctors. I got given probably 12 different types of antibiotics in the space of 3 months.
Wow.
Which is, at the time, I just thought, as you do, just give me a pill, that will fix it. And that just made everything worse. Nothing got better. A few months later, I then got diagnosed with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. That was another completely threw me off.
Yeah.
And I just thought, something's going on. The doctors basically just said, we don't know. You just need to wait. It takes time to heal from celiac disease. You're doing everything you can. So I got help from a nutritionist. And I also got help from acupuncturist or acupuncture therapist. My mum growing up was really big into holistic health. If we ever had anything wrong with us, she took us to go get acupuncture. So
rather than giving you a paracetamol.
Rather than giving us paracetamol.
Okay.
So if we sprained our ankle, we'd go get some acupuncture done or cupping. So it wasn't sort of a strange concept to me, and she very much brought it up and said, I think you should go and get some acupuncture done, give it a go. So going down that sort of natural holistic route did take longer. It probably took me about 6 months to fully heal. And I was just a completely different person. I changed my diet, changed my lifestyle, looked at my stress, looked at my hormones, and I sort of saw my two conditions instead of as a limitation, and instead of accepting it as, well, this is just me now, I can't do what I want to do because of these two things. It was, well, how can I make the best out of these situations and be as healthy as I can without having, pills every month or pills every day?
Yeah.
So that's a very long-winded way of saying what happened.
and that's now why, they always say that if you go through something personally, then you are the best person for someone else to go who's going through it to come to. Yeah. So that's why you specialise in that then, I assume.
100%, yeah.
You've been there, you've done that, you got the T-shirt, you got multiple T-shirts.
Yeah.
And you, and then you kind of fell into the women's coaching side of it after that, was it? Or so you kind of looked at it and went, this was my experience. I want to help people who are going through similar experiences. Yeah. How can I best accomplish that?
Yeah, totally. It came a lot from, I think when I got healthy or when I was starting to feel better, it made me realise how awful I'd felt with all of my gym training, and even just growing up or in my sort of late teens and early 20s, I sort of looked back and thought, wow, I felt really weak a lot of the time and just thought, that's just me, I'm just unfit, I'm not, I don't know, genetically talented. But it wasn't that, it was actually just a huge misunderstanding of my health and my body and what was really going on. So when I started to feel better and feel healthier, oh my God, I felt great. I was like, wow, I can do all these things. I was making huge progress in the gym with my training. And not everyone is going to be like me and has hidden celiac disease that they find out. But there are a lot of women who probably are wanting to do more and are wondering why they can't, and are sort of maybe doing what I was doing and berating themselves and sort of being like, well, I'm just not good enough, or well, I'm just not fit enough, when actually they're probably not eating what they should be eating. They're probably not looking after their sleep, their stress, their home life, have no idea about their cycle, where their hormones are, and just aren't really in tune with their body to then help them perform in the gym, whether that's literally if you're just an amateur gym goer and just want to go and push a sled, or if it's, you're trying to do a triathlon or a high rocks or running or whatever. So I thought that there was such a huge gap in the market for someone like me to come in and support on that side of things, and let the PTs and the coaches do the training side.
Yeah, I respect that, because I think that we said this before we actually started filming. There's a lot of there's a lot of fluff that people tend to think that training is training. And the more you can, I see this a lot with potential clients coming to me, and they come up to me and they say, well, this is what I've been doing. Like, you're overtraining like nobody's business. And actually you need to rest and recover and look after yourself. Training more does not equal more results. And that's for both male and female. I can't speak on the female side, or the specifically the female side of things. But so you would work alongside a PT. So you would suggest that someone has a PT and is with you at the same time. Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely, within my scope and within my knowledge that I can provide a plan for someone if they want to follow it. I think it very much depends on what their goals are. If they want to train specifically for an event, I would suggest they have a coach for that. And then they come to me for everything outside of that, and I can work with their coach, with their PT, and be like, what's Sarah doing today? How can we best support that? And we would work together. If it was they're coming to me initially because they have a goal to, I don't know, lose weight or maybe feel more energized or sleep better, that's when I would also look at their exercise, but more from a whole, like with everything else included point of view. A bigger picture.
Yeah,
so it's like, yes, I can advise you on maybe go to the gym, maybe try this type of exercise, but I'm not going to be standing next to them counting their reps if that's what they're after.
I think I wish more people would step away from the personal training side of things and move more to coaching, which is what I've done a lot, especially since I've opened the studio, is moving from standing there and counting people's reps and maybe giving them a workout plan and maybe doing this to coach a full coaching package where you can help people achieve their goals, but not just in the gym. It's outside, and like you say, it's zooming out the bigger picture. That's I think what's really important. And you mentioned earlier on as well, before we started filming, that you would talk about simplicity and the importance of simplicity. So how do you incorporate simplicity into your coaching? Because I think a lot of people overcomplicate it.
100%,
they think, oh my gosh, I cannot comprehend all of the things that you've just mentioned. They can't comprehend it, when actually it's probably a lot simpler than people realize.
Totally.
And that's you telling them how simple it is. So how do you implement that, as it were?
I think people maybe sometimes get a bit nervous before coming to see me because they think I'm going to completely overhaul everything they do. And I always try and just say, just be completely honest with me as much as you want to. Like, this is what they say to me, never goes outside of the walls that we speak in, and they can be, hopefully they feel that they're in a safe, non-judgmental environment. And I think they sort of brace themselves for me to be like, okay, cut out this, I don't want you to have this anymore. You're going to take this, this and this, and you're going to exercise 6 days a week. And sometimes I'll literally say, okay, I want you to go for a 10-minute walk after your lunch every day, and I want you to text me once you've done it for accountability. And something as simple as that can have such a huge difference. And it's not to say that, okay, you go for a 10-minute walk after lunch every day and your whole life has changed. That's just the beginning. That's what I would say to them, say after our first session, and then we would build on that. And then it would say, okay, you've gone for a 10-minute walk after your lunch. Now can you wake up a bit earlier? Or now can you include, another serving of vegetables on your plate? It very much depends on where the client is at and what their knowledge is. But it really is simple. Like, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. I'd say 90% of the clients that I have don't need a supplement, and they probably won't need a specific supplement. It's more just, what can we add to your diet? What can we add to your life, rather than what we can take away? And they're quite shocked at how easy it is. One of my clients, she was having, got to 3 p.m, like a lot of women, and just a complete and utter energy dip, and she'd have to go and have a nap. And I said, okay, well, we looked at her life, we looked at what she's doing in the morning, and I said, okay, at lunchtime, I want you to sit down and literally stare out the window and eat your lunch. Don't look at a screen, don't have a podcast on, don't be rushing around trying to do something else. And then as soon as you're done, get up and go for a walk for half an hour. And within a week, she was like, I've not needed a nap. I've not needed to, I've not had an energy dip. And she came to me saying, what can I take? And I'm not going to say, well, here you go, here's a pill. I can't do that anyway, because that's not in my scope to give someone a pill. But it is really as simple as that, is that she wasn't giving her body that reset in the middle of the day. So by 3 p.m, she was just crashing out. Yeah.
It's interesting because, again, you see a lot of people on social media who have got their pill pots, who take 15 supplements a day.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw a story that was reshared by quite a big brand the other day. And this guy had 5 of those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all in a row.
Right.
Full. And each to your own. You do what you want to do. However, I absolutely agree with you that just taking the majority of things you can get through food and through what you need. Like you say, like naturally, right? You don't need to take. I mean, maybe vitamin D because it's England, but other than that,
vitamin D. Is
I'm pretty sure I've read a study saying that people in the UK need to take vitamin D supplements because of the lack of sunlight. Whether that was just a clickbait or not, I don't know. But so talking about people who come to you with a perception, they come to you with an idea that they think you're going to take a lot of things away, and they think that you're going to. They come to you and say, "What supplements can I take?" Do you think that, and as a social media manager as well, do you think that social media plays a big part in that?
100%. It is. I would love to ask all those people to take away all of the sort of packets that those supplements have come in and said, okay, I don't know, whatever it could be, omega-3, why do you take that? What's in it? When do you take it? And, what effect has it had on you? And they probably go, I don't know, I saw it on TikTok.
I saw it on,
saw it online or something like that. They have no idea. And if you take a step back and you think about that, that is crazy that they're putting something in their body that they have no idea what's in it.
I could not agree with you more.
And it's not just a supplement. It could be, okay, there's obviously a huge hype around protein. They could go to a supermarket and be like, oh my God, a high protein yogurt. Like, what's in that? What is in that yogurt to make it an excessive amount of protein? If you turn to the back of it, there's probably an ingredient list about that long. It's yogurt. It should be one ingredient.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think social media's had a huge effect. There's also a lot of supplement companies now who are using sort of amateur athletes who are relatable, which is obviously what everyone wants to be on social media. So yes, okay, they're targeting your elite athletes, Olympians and things like that. They're sponsored. It's sort of expected from them to be like, I used, this supplement brand. But I think now it's getting more and more into, they're targeting people with 2,000 followers or something who have just completed their first high rocks, who a lot of people would follow because they're like, well, I'm like him. I'm not like, I don't know, Mo Farah.
Exactly.
Jim, who's just done his second high rocks, and he's now sponsored by a supplement company, and they post this picture and they've got a full stack of supplements. That person just thinks, great, I'm growing my social media presence, I'm now a sponsored athlete. They're getting all of that sort of kudos, but they have no idea what's in those supplements and also the potential harm that's doing to their audience. Are they really taking those supplements? Did they take those supplements before? Or are they just happy that they've been recognised by a big brand? Yeah,
they've got that kind of fame. Their 5 minutes. They've got their 5 minutes of fame.
Totally.
And I think, like you say, are they even taking those supplements?
Yeah.
Is it even... Well, like you say, people put things in their body that they just don't even understand, and they'll do it because it's a trend.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that... it was like 2016, 2015, when people were eating dishwasher tablets.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah, we had that. Insane. We had that once when I was away on a cadet camp. We had 3 cadets who did the Tide Pod challenge.
Oh my goodness.
And they were hospitalised for 48 hours. But that's literally people following a trend.
Yeah.
And I know it's obviously a lot more extreme, but if you're taking 17 different supplements, 5 of which are probably counteracting each other, 5 of which probably don't work unless you're eating with a meal, 3 need fat, 3 need water. Do you know what I mean? People just don't understand that. And I think that a lot of PTs qualify 8 weeks online, because it's not hard to get a PT qualification, mind. You can get a PT qualification very easily. And they qualify, and then they start giving nutrition plans. And all of these apps, I've just transferred all of my clients from one app to another, and they're all about meal plans. That's one of the biggest things that I think sell these fitness apps is like My PT Hub, Kahuna's, Trainerize, stuff like that. And they push the meal plans. But actually, the majority of PTs are not qualified to then give meal plans. So that I think annoys me, mate, that we talked about this earlier. My pet peeve, my biggest pet peeve is PTs who aren't qualified who then go out and give meal plans and help. So what do you think? Well, I say, what do you think we can do to stop that? But there probably isn't much that anybody can do to stop that other than what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Because people have a lot of misconceptions when they come to you, thinking that you're going to tell them to stop doing this and start taking this. So, yeah, I guess there was going to be a question in there.
Yeah, I think.
But I've lost it.
Yeah. No, I completely get that. I think what it is that people need to have a bit more trust in themselves and be less easily led by what they see online and taking things as verbatim. I think naturally as humans, we just want an answer and we just want to sort of be told what to do and what route to go down. But it's actually just taking a step back and, it's not to say that there are plenty of, personal trainers out there and coaches who give great advice, who maybe are qualified, who can, prescribe a supplement, which just as a side note, you can only prescribe a supplement to someone if you're a qualified and registered nutritionist.
Yep.
But the nutritionist title in the UK isn't a protected title, so anyone can call themselves a nutritionist. Not anyone can call themselves like a doctor, say. So it's just, there's two things. As you go to a PT, yes, you get the coaching, but you also get that bond with that person. Most of the time, people stay with their PT because they really get on with them. They're, kind, supportive, help keep them accountable. So they build that trust, they build that rapport with them. So when they say, well, why don't you take this? And the PT might not mean it in any, harmful way. The PT could be like, well, I take that and it works for me, which is never a way to prescribe someone a supplement.
Yeah.
The person will trust them. But I think it's just say to people, just take a step back and think, I'm just going to think about that and I'm just going to do my own research. Get on Google, look up some journals and some articles, go and get your bloods done, go and get your tests done if you're really worried. If you genuinely think you have a symptom or a problem that you need a supplement for, think about how else you can help solve that before you reach for something that's easy just to swallow.
Yeah. It's like people who take vitamin C and omega-3 and stuff. Yeah. You get all of that from a healthy, balanced diet anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of it anyway.
Yeah, and it's no, taking a multivitamin, of course, there's no harm in that.
Yeah, it's such small dose of everything. It's just going to help.
Totally. Yeah. It's more when people are saying, well, I'm going to take creatine, I'm going to take amino acids, and then I'm going to take, I don't even know, whatever, I can't even think of a supplement now, but they'll have all these different sporting supplements because they want to be the best they can be at what they're trying to be. But then they go home and scroll on Instagram until 1 a.m. or they are stressed out of their minds, and by the time they get into bed, they're so wired up, or they're getting 5 hours of sleep, or if you're a female, they're doing everything they can, but they don't have a regular period. It doesn't matter what you take. If you're not looking at the basic fundamentals of health, they won't even touch the sides, and they won't help in the way that the company is selling them to help. Yeah.
Well, it's just that they're selling it, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's beneficial to the company. What do you think are some misconceptions that women have about health and fitness, specifically about health and fitness, more than supplements?
I think it's always, women, it's better now, but I always think it's in the back of women's head that they need to be small and they need to lose weight and they need to not take up space.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting better. I follow a lot of positive people, females on Instagram, who are take up space, be strong, go to the gym, train. We are not small men, we are women, and we can't train in the exact same way as men. We need different things, different requirements, which is incredible. The fact that we aren't small men, but we can compete and train alongside them and have our own incredible achievements. But I do still think for a lot of the average female population, it's, but I need to lose weight, and but I need to have my summer body, and but I need to, be summer ready or shredded, or they join these 6-week challenges to lose weight. And I think as much as in sort of maybe in our generation, we are moving away from that, I think that will always be very prominent. And I don't want any woman to go to a gym and be like, oh, well, I'll just get on the treadmill because that's what I'm going to do. No, like you walk into that gym, go to the weight section, and that will do you far more for whatever your goal is than just running endlessly on a treadmill because you feel like you need to burn off your food that you ate.
Yeah, and it's that common misconception that as soon as you pick up a dumbbell, you're going to get massive and you're going to get big muscles. And there was I saw it because I'm running the London Marathon again this year.
Oh, incredible.
So when did the first woman, did you ever see the first woman who ran the marathon?
I did. Oh, no. Yes.
She got, she got pulled off, or she got pulled away from the marathon.
Yeah.
But her husband really helped her. I don't know what her name was. I want to Google it quickly.
Yeah.
Marathon. Because I don't want to be rude. Catherine Switzer is a famous first woman. Yeah, 1967. She had to fight off the race officials. So that's only 60 years ago.
Yeah, that's insane.
In theory.
Yeah.
That this person wasn't allowed to run a marathon, so they had to pull her away from it. And I saw a little video on Facebook Marketplace, Facebook Reels, that was about female female gyms in the 1960s, 70s, 80s. And I think maybe there's still a little bit of that vibe going around that people, women shouldn't be going to the gym and doing what men do, as it were, and stuff like that. And I think it's a bit heartbreaking, isn't it, really? Yeah,
100%. I think there's some harmful things on social media where people are like, well, you want to lose weight, so just eat less and exercise more. And it just isn't as black and white as that.
Yeah.
It is in a lot of ways. Obviously, if you're in a calorie deficit and you exercise more, you might lose weight, but you also might not. You might actually retain the weight that you're trying to lose.
Well, it's when people do such big calorie deficits that they actually start maintaining or gaining a little bit of weight. I found that with a couple of my clients who come to me going, I'm eating this much. I'm like, and you're gaining weight? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, that's because you're literally starving yourself and your body is holding on to as many reserves as it can.
Yeah.
And
are they female or?
Yeah. But this is the thing. So the majority, when I worked at my first gym, the majority of my clients, I think I was about 85% female. I had one male client for a while, and that was it for a year.
That's crazy.
And then I moved to JD, and I had more of an even split, and now I'm quite an even split. But yeah, I think there's definitely. I think, and I'll say it, I think that people want quick fixes. They don't want to make the change. Yeah. So the 6-week program, the 8-week, the 12-week will get you shredded in 6 weeks, which is going to absolutely ruin your hormones.
Yeah.
And really, it might cause a bit of fat loss to start off with, but it's nothing that's going to cause it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they see these supplements. They see like Sheila's Eat and stuff like this on TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
And there's this person selling it on TikTok Shop. And we want the quick fixes, but we don't want to do the work to make the long-term fixes work.
100%.
I think we need, as a population now, we need instant gratification. We need something to happen now.
100%.
And it can't happen over a period of time. We need it to be done now. Do you think that's the case?
Totally. And I think going back to that question about the misconceptions around women's health and fitness is that whatever you're doing now, so no matter what your age is, it should be for yourself in 20 years time, 50 years time, is that, if you try and think of it like, I don't know, if a random person said, I want to go to the Olympics, and you said to them, great, I believe that you can do that. Do you think you could do that in 6 weeks? They'd be like, oh, no, of course I can't do that. That literally applies to anything. You can't do it in 6 weeks. So if they say, well, I want to lose weight, well, you're right. You could lose weight in 6 weeks, absolutely. But do you want to lose weight and keep the weight off? Do you want to be more energized and stay more energized? It's not just a 6-week challenge. It really is your lifestyle you have to change and commit to. And yeah, you hit it, nail on the head, is that people don't want to put the hard work in. They want that before and after picture that they see on social media. But with social media and how people are just scrolling, bored, don't like that next one, that's sort of trickling into real life. They don't want to put that work in. They just want to sort of turn up the next day and it will be done for them.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I think I mean, you probably see it as a social media manager as well, is people will come to you and go, well, I have 200 followers and I want 200,000 followers and I want them tomorrow. And they won't change anything. They won't, maybe they've got a great personality, or maybe they've got no personality, but they still want to be Instagram famous. And they come to you and they go, maybe, I want to do this, and this. And they don't do anything to do it. They just want the result. And they'll buy followers or something like that. I know a lot of people who buy followers because it's a vanity metric, And I think that when you look at, it's literally, we doom scroll through life now. We literally doom scroll through life. What is it? The attention span of Gen Z is like so much lower than boomers and millennials because of Instagram and social media. Well, not Instagram specifically, don't sue me. But
social media on a whole.
Actually, I want to talk to you about another trend that's coming on at the moment. And Ethan and I talked about this. So you've competed in a high rocks before. Have you done a high rocks before?
No, I haven't.
You haven't, and are you going to do one?
I have tried and failed. And every time my body has said, you do not suit high rocks training, I have signed up for 1, 2, 3 high rockses, and each one 3 weeks out, I got injured because of my knee.
Oh, wow.
And had to pull out.
It is literally telling you don't do it.
Yeah, so I've just taken it as a sign that my body suits more like endurance, long form training. It just wasn't for me.
So I asked Ethan, a good friend of mine, or my best friend, I asked Ethan on our Christmas special, I said, what do you think is a fitness trend that's not going to last? And he said high rocks.
Really?
And so I'm interested to see everybody. It's a comment. It's something I'm going to bring up on every single podcast because they made 140 million last year. Wow. From ticket sales, merch, everything, from affiliate marketing and stuff. So I'm interested to know if you think that high rocks is a trend that's going to last, or if it's something that you think is going to be here for a long, or something that's here for a good time, not a long time.
I think it's going to last, but I don't think how it is at the moment. I just think it will get to a point where it will be so overcrowded and so expensive, and they'll keep putting in things where, like, if you pull out 6 weeks before, they don't give you your money back, and you probably have to like pay money to pull out or something ridiculous that. Yeah. And I think it will reach like a tipping point where people just go, nah, I'm going to go do an Ironman. And everyone will just go and do that instead.
Have you done any other competitions, as it were? So marathons, half marathons, triathlons, Ironmans? Any plans to?
I'm still fairly new. I mean, I feel like I've been healthy for just over a year. I did do Athex Games or Athex Games, however you say it.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah. That's like a competitor.
It's like a what?
A competitor?
Yes, it is.
Right, okay, cool. Yeah.
High rocks, if you're listening. Sorry. And that was fun. Like, it was just, it was competition, but it was just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Really lovely competition. I have got my mindset on a triathlon because
nope.
I just think I'm not into, I don't know, the high rocks training was fun, but it was too much on my body. And I've just been, through injury, I did a lot of swimming and cycling because I couldn't run.
Right, yeah. So it makes sense.
My partner used to race, he used to be a cyclist, he used to race, and my dad is really huge in cycling, so I sort of should be good at cycling. There's a lot of pressure there. So
a lot of lineage.
I'm sort of thinking, why don't I do a triathlon? But I think, yes, I have my sights set on that, but I also just want to just train and enjoy it. And I think a lot of the time now, I had a few people ask me like, oh, what are you going to do next? And it's like, can I not just go to the gym? And
be
active? Do I have to do a competition of sorts? Everyone is doing something, which is honestly incredible. Kudos to anyone who does marathons, half marathons. I've never done that. But if you're not doing that and you just want to run without putting it on Strava, and you just want to train for a high rocks but not do a high rocks, then that's also great, and that is just as that's just as commendable and incredible, and you are just as worthy without having to do a competition.
I think it comes down to that social media thing though. Like everybody is constantly setting the bar, but then you're a business person as well, so I think that I find that I'm never looking back at how far I've come. I had a really bad period throughout October when I took this place over in September, built it up, painted everything. It was so fun, all go. Felt like a DIY master, felt like a business owner. And then October came and I was like, yeah, but I haven't really done anything. I feel like I need something to aim for. I need to do something else. And I think that's a quite consistent thing of people who are driven, self-employed people, but also social media now makes people go and think, oh, well, someone is always doing something better than me, so I need to make sure I'm aiming. So when someone asks you, oh, well, what's next? And you give them the answer of, oh, well, I'm just going to go to the gym, thanks. I'm I want to bench this and I want to be able to squat this. And they're like, oh, well, okay, enjoy that. You know, I'm going to go and do this. I personally, and I said this on the Christmas special, I want to do a high rocks. I probably never will, purely because it looks horrendous. It looks horrendous. I ran the marathon. I limped half of it, but I ran the marathon. I'm running it again this year. I'd rather do a long distance run, even a triathlon. I can't imagine going from 1 to 2 to 3. Yeah. Like going from a swim to, it's a swim bike run, isn't it? Yeah. Like imagine riding a bike when you're wet. Like, oh no, that does not suit me. I did have a friend who did an Ironman, a 73 point, whatever they're called.
That. Yeah. It's incredible. It's such an achievement. But then people will say, oh, but it's a 70.3. It's not a full Ironman, because they see people just knocking out an Ironman on a Saturday on Instagram. And it's like, oh, God, this is insane. People are signing up for ultras, and it's so, honestly, I take my hat off to them. Like, it's incredible. But I don't want people to feel like they have to do something. And I think for a very long time, I felt like, especially when I had to pull out of my last high rocks, I was honestly like, oh my God, I'm a waste of space. Like, I was so upset. And I just thought, you know, what's the point? I've done all this training. But the point is that I was fit, I was strong, I felt really good in myself, I felt really confident. And you know, my partner was really lovely, and he said, well, you technically did do the high rocks because you trained for it. The high rocks is just the bit at the end. People who train for a triathlon, an Ironman, whatever it is, you know, the training is the winning, and the prize at the end,
and the hard part,
to do the race. 100%.
The training is the hard part. I found training for the marathon last year, which I didn't put as much effort into as I should have done, was much harder than the actual thing.
Totally.
Yeah. It always
is. Much more rewarding, I bet, that you did that and you committed to it. You said to yourself, in however many months' time, I'm going to do this, and you did it, and you put that work in.
Absolutely. 100 days from today. TCS like to remind us on email. You know, the last two kind of big questions are, and talking about challenges, but more so in what kind of challenges do you think that women in the health and fitness industry face, both as a creator and as a coach and as a client? Yeah. Because I think we're getting better, but we're not where we should be yet. Yeah. Personally, I think that anyway.
I think one of the biggest challenges is that women are seeing other women doing these huge events, say competing in a high rocks, aiming for like Elite 15.
What is Elite 15?
Elite 15 are the top, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a high rocks specialist. They are the top 15 high rocks athletes in the world. So you've got you can be an Elite 15 solo athlete, or you could be the Elite 15 doubles. And I think there are qualifying high rocks events you go to, and you have to get a certain time. And then if you do, you get an email, and it's like, oh my God, you're Elite 15, you can come to the Elite 15 races.
You get an email. Great. Wow. All that work, I get an email. I love that.
And you go and you race at these Elite 15 races, and you can win money if you win them. And it's
it's like the really, really competitive side of the sport.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's technically the best 15 athletes in the high rock sport in the world.
Or best 30 if it's doubles.
Yeah.
Surely, yeah. Because that's an uneven number.
Yes. So I think they see that and they think, wow, I want to do that. And so all they see is what that athlete is putting out. So they're putting out, oh, I did this threshold session. So they're like, well, I'm going to do a threshold session. But they don't see that athlete also did, however many boring hours of zone 2 work. Or they don't see that athlete went home and ate a big bowl of hopefully nourishing food with carbs and protein. They don't see that athlete has a physio on call, a nutritionist on call, whatever else. So they see it and they are just doing their 9 to 5. They have maybe kids or any other responsibility, and they just are training as hard as what they're seeing these women are training as, but not supporting anything else outside of that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I went and did a race and I just felt really flat, and you know, it was really rubbish and I got like the same time, or I got like 30 seconds better than last time. And they'll berate themselves and be like, I'm just rubbish. You're not rubbish. You're just not supporting yourself outside of that, because they don't show that side of things, because it's boring, you know?
Yeah, it's not going to get the views.
No one cares to see that. So I think that's a huge thing with social media, is that people aren't showing really the full picture of how they're training and how they get there. And I think the second biggest problem is that people, this is kind of similar to what I was saying, but women are training flat out all the time, and they're not realizing that it just simply doesn't work, and that every day they're sort of wanting that like adrenaline, they're wanting that like dopamine high that they get from doing, you know, a high intensity workout. And that really, if they just slowed things down a bit, if they recovered for the same amount of time that they trained, they probably wouldn't be bloated. They'd feel far less puffy, far less lethargic, if they learned to tune into their body. And instead of pushing on when, you know, there's a lot of this sort of like, just push through and like discipline over motivation, and, you know, just like, if you don't feel like it, you should go anyway, which I'm all for. Like, I do think discipline is a form of self-care. Like, 100%, sometimes you do just need to get yourself to the gym and you need to do it. But it's when you're waking up in the morning and your body is literally screaming at you as a woman, and you're like, no, but I have to do it. But why do you have to do it? Who's telling you? You're not a professional athlete. You're not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
You have a million other things to juggle. Do you really need to go and hit your 4th threshold session of the week because social media is going to tell you that you're bad if you don't do that?
Yeah. And I think discipline over motivation is very important, but you need to listen to your body as well.
Yeah.
And my therapist once said to me, actually, about compassion versus leniency. And leniency would be not doing something lots of times because you just don't want to do it. But compassion is listening to your body and actually realizing maybe today isn't the day to go and absolutely rag myself.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know who Mike Metzer was. He was a really influential bodybuilder in the 90s or the 80s. And he used to get his clients to train once a week. And they just train absolutely as hard as they could every 96 hours. And then they got more results than when they were training 3-4 times a week. Yeah. Because the rest was more important, right? And training isn't just... and again, when you look at sports, you look at athletes, take a football player, for example, playing the football game on the Sunday against Man United is not what they do all of the time. They are doing gym sessions, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing conditioning, they're doing physio sessions. There's a lot more to it than what you see on TV and in the social media. So I can understand where you're coming from, because I think people, it goes back to that thing of the instant gratification and that eating healthy doesn't fix them today, but going to the gym, they think it will. Yeah, because they get that immediate high. And if they go and do, say, like a Pilates session, or if they go and just say, I'm going to do a bit of mobility, it's boring to them, and it doesn't give that feel. And they probably have a watch that's telling them, you've not worked hard enough today, because the day before they worked really hard. Yeah. It's I have a Whoop, and I do... It's a very pretty Whoop, actually. Nice golden cream one. I like that. Looks like a smart little watch. And I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh my God, what was my sleep score? And, sometimes it will say 70%. And I'll be like, 70%? But I feel great. And that's when I'm like, I need to not listen to the watch. I feel great. Or if the watch says, what are you doing? You should be training really hard today. But your watch doesn't know that actually you had a really bad day at work and you're full of anxiety and you're a bit bloated because you ate something you shouldn't have eaten at lunch. And actually going to do that session on the Friday evening isn't going to help, even though your watch is screaming at you to do that. And I just think... you don't have to always go and just go flat out because that's what you see everyone doing. Yeah. It's okay to just take a step back and to listen to your body. It's okay to listen to your body. That is the biggest thing I think that people seem to forget. Yeah. January specifically is January people are coming to the gym. Yeah. And I didn't see this very much when I worked at JD, but you see it again all over social media, that it's all about, new year, new me. And all this kind of stuff. And the only thing that's changed is the date, because we're still in winter. The nights are still dark and cold, and it's actually getting colder, right? Because in December I was wearing shorts, and now I can't wear shorts.
Yeah.
So nothing has changed bar the date on the calendar.
Yeah.
But you think that your entire world and life is going to change in 4 weeks because you are because you're seeing it everywhere. I think that's something that people need to listen to themselves and realize that actually there's more to it than anything else.
Yeah.
And that comes to my last question, which is, how do you think the fitness industry can support or can be more supportive of women? Again, as a creator, as a coach, or as a client, as it were, just as a normal person.
I think it comes down to sort of what we were saying with training. I think the fitness industry, it would be helpful if it was more regulated, so that not just anybody can, like you say, do an 8 week. Oh
yeah, okay, I like that. That's a really good. Yeah, I like that.
I'm not saying I'm a font of all knowledge, but I didn't just do an 8 week course. So I think it should be more regulated. I think that there should be protection around who can give out advice and who can sort of prescribe supplements. And I think that would help, because I think there are a lot of female and male, like not just males, but giving advice to women on hormones, sleep, nutrition, because they've learned it on Instagram and they're telling their clients, but not because they've learned it from a protected.
It's Chinese whispers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They see something and they think, well, that sounds really clever. I'm going to tell my client that, and I'm also going to listen to it myself. They mean it in the best intentions for their client, I'm absolutely sure, but there's no protection around it. So yeah, I think if the fitness industry was a bit more regulated on
that is
who
just
can do what.
Because you can be an online coach with no qualifications.
Anyone could be a nutritionist. I could be a nutritionist if I wrote it in my Instagram
The thing
bio.
is, so I was always about, if you're a PT, that's great. If you do a qualification, level 2, level 3, and you're qualified to be able to coach, that's fine. You can be an online coach. But apparently there's a lot of online coaches who aren't even qualified. Never even done a level 2 qualification to work in a gym. I messaged someone who was an online coach a couple of weeks ago, and I said, what gym do you work at? And they're like, I don't work in a gym. I'm like, why not? And they're like, not qualified. I'm like, But you're charging £200 a month for online coaching. That's mad.
Yeah.
It does come down to people's due diligence, I think, because I think if you, as a potentially as a female, you might want to work, especially a menopausal female. You might want to work with anybody, whether they be male or female, who is a menopause coach, has gone through the menopause coaching and what is it, pre and post menopause, and pre and post natal courses and stuff like that. You can do all these things. You can qualify yourself to do these things by going and doing them. Yeah. But I think it does come down to people's due diligence as well, that maybe I should look into this person I'm spending £250 a month on before we actually spend thousands of pounds on someone.
Ask to see their qualifications, ask them where they trained, ask them what experience they have, ask them for, testimonials are always really good. I mean, most people put it on their website, but, before I worked with my nutritionist, I said, have you worked with someone who's got PCOS, celiac disease, and is struggling with acne and all these other issues? And she was like, yeah, that's literally what I do. This is my qualification. I can help you with this. And I had trust in her. I didn't just go to an online coach. And that's why it's so, this is your hard-earned money. You're putting, and people are charging a lot of money. You want to be putting it into something that you know is going to work. And if you're unsure, don't do it. If you have any doubt about the person, most of the reason why people buy into all of that is because they're buying into the person rather than they're buying into their knowledge, expertise. It's because they're a good salesman.
Yeah.
Saleswoman.
Yeah. Del Boy. That's a good thing that I've used to describe people before. As a Del Boy. You know who Del Boy is?
No.
You don't know what Only Fools and Horses is?
Oh, I do, but I've never.
Del Boy he's just like a wheeler dealer, like an old, like a used car salesman.
Okay, yeah.
And you know what? I have had people before ask me for my qualifications, which I really liked. They wanted to see my qualification certificates and stuff, and I love that because I was like, yeah, absolutely. Here's all my qualifications. Here's what I did. Here's why I did it. And here's my experiences. And I like that. I think that is a good, because people will follow someone on Instagram and go, oh, that's a nice 12-week transformation that John did. And he looks great and I want that result. And then they just go and hire this coach who actually has no idea what they're doing, has a coach themselves they're then copying and pasting the programs to their clients. It's a bit of a madness.
They don't know that John is absolutely starving and
hating life right
Hating
now.
life,
Yeah. And his hormones are out of whack and he's depressed and he's not sleeping very well, but he looks great.
He looks great in that one picture he took first thing in the morning before he ate anything.
Yeah. And that's given that new PT loads of clients.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to bring up or add or finish with?
I think really it's just for women to not feel like whatever it is that they're feeling, if they're struggling with, their sleep, or they're struggling with anything to do with like their digestion or their hormones or exercise, that it doesn't have to be normal. So I think as women we'll always say like, oh God, like I'm so bloated, or oh, I can't eat that because that will, give me a bad stomach, or well, I've just always been a bad sleeper, or I've never been able to run because I've got, a dodgy knee or a dodgy back. And we'll all sort of be like, oh yeah, I'm like really sorry about that. And, that's fine and it's common, but it shouldn't be normalised. And you don't have to live like that. You don't have to just accept these parts of you that you're not happy with because your friend also struggles with it, or because you don't know. Seek out help, seek out someone like myself who can help you with those things, and just know that you don't have to be bloated if you eat something. You don't have to go to a restaurant and avoid what you really want to eat because you don't want to put on weight, or because it's going to give you spots, because those things shouldn't be normal in everyday life. It's just that we've normalised them. And you can get the help, and you can actually live a more energised, happier, healthier life, train as hard as you want to train, and do all the things you want to do without having to go to a doctor or take a pill, or just be told that, well, you're just a woman, so it's just normal, or you're just going through menopause, or you're just, it's part of your menstrual cycle, because that's not the case at all.
Fantastic. Look at that. I like that. I think that's a very different mindset on how fitness works and how the health and fitness industry is. Because like I say, a lot of it is very aesthetic.
Totally.
And is there any supplements that you would recommend?
I would always say creatine.
Yeah, creatine is
that's the only one that I would say, especially for women to take. Anything else, I can't sit here and prescribe supplements because I don't know who's listening. If somebody was to come and work with me, I would honestly, it's like an hour-long consultation. I ask them about a million questions about everything.
That's good. It's fella.
Because I don't know you. I don't know what else you're taking, but creatine is the safest supplement and the most widely researched supplement that for men and women, I would always advise to take.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Thank you for... I don't know how Spotify works still, so follow, I guess. Or give it a good rating. And make sure you go and follow Ellie on all of her social media. I'll link it all down below as well. But yeah, appreciate you for coming on. Thank you for being the first guest, or the first proper guest. That is an honour. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next episode.